What if one man changed the course of human history, not with armies, not with wealth, but with a single decision to leave everything behind, a journey into the unknown, a promise that seemed impossible, and a test that would push faith to its absolute limit? This is the true story of Abraham. The story of Abraham begins in the ancient city of Ur, a place of wealth, culture, and advanced civilization. By all accounts, Abraham had a stable life, family, security, a future. But then, everything changed. According to the Hebrew Bible, Abraham received a call from God, not a suggestion, command, to leave his home, his land, everything he had ever known, and go to a place he had never seen. There was no map, no clear destination, only a promise that he would become the father of a great nation. It didn't make sense. He was already old. His wife, Sarah, had no children, but he went anyway, and that decision would change everything. Leaving Ur, Abraham began a long journey across harsh lands, through deserts, through unfamiliar territories. Eventually, he arrived in Canaan, a land filled with other tribes and uncertainty. There, the promise was repeated. This land will belong to your descendants. But time passed, years, still no child, still no sign of the promise being fulfilled. Doubt began to grow, not just for Abraham, but for Sarah too. In a moment of desperation, Sarah offered her servant, Hagar, to Abraham. Through Hagar, a son was born, Ishmael. But this was not the promise. Not yet. Time continued to pass. Abraham grew older. Sarah grew older. The promise seemed more impossible with each passing year. Then something unexpected happened. According to the story, divine messengers appeared. They brought news that seemed unbelievable. Sarah would have a child, despite her age, despite everything. First, she laughed, but the impossible became real. She gave birth to a son. His name was Isaac, the child of promise, the one through whom the future would unfold. For Abraham, it was proof. The promise had not been forgotten. Then came the moment that defines Abraham's story more than any other. A test. One that has been discussed, debated, and questioned for centuries. According to the book of Genesis, Abraham was commanded to sacrifice his son Isaac, the very child he had waited his entire life for. It didn't make sense. It went against everything. But Abraham did not refuse. He traveled to the mountain, prepared the altar, and at the final moment, everything stopped. A voice called out. The sacrifice was not required. A test of faith. And Abraham had passed. The story of Abraham does not end with power or conquest. It ends with something else. Legacy. He is remembered as the father of nations, a central figure in multiple traditions, a man whose story shaped beliefs across generations. From Judaism to Christianity to Islam, his journey is not just about history, it's about faith, about trust in something unseen, about stepping into the unknown and believing. The story of Abraham is one of the oldest ever told, but its message remains powerful. Sometimes the biggest changes in history begin with a single step into uncertainty.